Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Nursing Shorts with Smitha, and today I'm going to teach you the management of inflammatory bowel disease. So, if you know that inflammatory bowel disease consists of two problems, that is Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. So, yes, we have already discussed these two videos in our previous session. So, if you haven't watched, I highly recommend you to go and watch those videos. And if you are new to my channel, do subscribe my channel first. And so, we'll see here the management part. So, management includes your medical management, surgical management, and nursing management. With nursing diagnosis, we'll start with our medical management. So the medical management says that we are first of all we are aiming at the tackling these five problems, which is reducing inflammation. So there is inflammation in your bowel wall and in your intestinal wall, which is causing the problem. So we need to identify the problem and we need to tackle that problem. So we'll give some anti-inflammatory and corticosteroids to the patient to reduce the inflammation. Then suppressing inappropriate immune responses, since we know that there is autoimmune response or autoimmune reaction in the person body, so we need to suppress that hyperactivity of the immunity, so the person immunity will be reserved. Then providing rest for the disease bowel, so we have to give a proper rest to the intestine or the digestive system. So how we can do that is just switch to a parental nutrition therapy, so we can give a total parental therapy to the patient, or we can give some IV fluids to replace back any nutrition which is required for the body. So for in that situation, what will happen, the intestine will be on a good vacation and there will be a healing process. So intestine will heal properly, and within few days it will be healed properly. Then improving the quality of life, since it is a chronic condition, so we know it is a condition which will be there for a long time and maybe for a lifetime with the patient. So we have to focus how we can allow the patient to live healthy with this problem itself. So that is how improving the quality of life works, and preventing and minimizing the complications, since the lots of major complications are involved with this condition, even the death. So we have to prevent these problems to happen in the future. So first we will do a nutritional therapy. So this nutrition therapy includes oral fluids and prescribing some low residue, high protein and high calorie diet with supplemental vitamin therapy. So we need to give all these things to the patient to replace any nutrition which was lacking in the body. And also an iron replacement is prescribed to these patients because there are some nutritional needs which is not being met before. So we need to meet those nutritional needs. And reducing inflammation, it also controls pain, and since there is less hemoglobin because of anemia, so we have to recover that also by giving some iron supplement, maybe in a form of oral therapy like tablets, or maybe it could be given as a syrup to drink. Now the fluid and electrolyte imbalance which is happening due to the diarrhea, so we have to correct that problem. If the person is admitted in the hospital, then we can start with the IV therapy. If person is not admitted, we can just give some supplementation to the patient, and we can ask the patient to drink ORS solution in their home setup, so it will be treated there. Now any food which is exaggerating and which is causing diarrhea, like milk and cheese, so milk and milk products, so we have to avoid those kind of food from the patient's diet. And also ask the person to restrict any smoking and cold food, since these two things increase the hypermotility of the intestine, so we have to avoid that. And then we will go for pharmacological therapy, starting with medication. So we have to give some sedatives or painkiller to the patient. Anti-inflammatory drugs are also prescribed over here. Then antidiarrheal for diarrhea, antiperistaltic medications are given to decrease the hyperperistaltic movement. Then aminosalicylate formula are given to the patient because there are some mild and moderate inflammation which we have to tackle. And since it is a long term problem, so there is recurrence chances which is seen mainly in the Crohn's problem. So in Crohn's disease this recurrence happens, so we have to give these kind of medicines, and corticosteroids are also given. Then immunomodulators are those medicines which will alter the immune response of the patient. Then surgical management, so surgical management is not the first priority. Surgical management happens only when the medical management fails. And also if the most common indications of the surgery is that medically intractable diseases, if the disease is not being tackled by medical management, or the poor quality of life is there, and also there are many complications involved with the medical management, then we will directly go for the surgery. And in surgery we have to perform a total colectomy and ileostomy, proctolectomy with ileostomy, and also strictureplasty. So total colectomy means there will be a total or a complete excision of your colon. Then ileostomy, it says that there will be a removal or an excision made in the ileum. The proctocolectomy with ileostomy, it means that there will be a complete removal of your colon, rectum along with the anus. And this surgery is recommended when the patient's rectum is involved in the problem. So if rectum is involved, then rectum will also be removed. And strictureplasty is done in cases where there is intestinal obstruction or some blockage is there, and the intestinal narrowing down is there, so we need to remove that blockage, and we have to perform some reconstruction surgery. So the bowel or your intestine will be again widened in the same manner how it was before, so your bowel will be intact and food passages will happen. Then surgical removal is of up to 50% of small bowel usually can be tolerated. So if it is involving your small bowel, then we can go for surgical removal, and it is being tolerated for half of the cases on, and some of the cases does not tolerate this surgery. And there are some other types of surgical procedure like fecal diversion. So fecal diversion is your surgery or procedure where we just divert the passage of the defecation. So in case of defecating through the rectum and anal region, since the anus and the rectum is being removed, so we have to divert the passage. Then we will go for a colostomy, and we'll just make excision or hole in your colon region, so the defecation process will happen from there. Your all the removal, all the waste part removal will happen from your colon or through that opening, which is called stoma or ostomy. Then the recurrence of inflammation and disease after surgery is in Crohn's disease is inevitable, because it is unavoidable. In Crohn's disease there is a chance of remission and exacerbation, so we cannot avoid that, and we cannot prevent that to happen. So if that happens, we have to, maybe we have to again go for surgery and against the medical management. And it is also seen that within first 5 years only the person will have this recurrence chances. If not, the person might get a normal healthy life again. And patients who are younger than 25 years of age, they have higher recurrence rate, because 25 years of age and lesser than that is very young age. So we cannot just modify all everything, we cannot modify their diet and lifestyle completely at that young age, so there is a high chance of recurrence here. And it is also said that surgery for regional enteritis, it means the Crohn's disease, surgery for Crohn's disease is indicated for refractory disease and complications. So if there is any complication involved, then surgery is indicated in this at first without going for any medical management. So we'll see about the nursing management. Nursing management of patient with IBD may include your medical, surgical, or both. And patient in the community setting, or the person who is being diagnosed recently. So for those patients, a proper education about the diet and medication, and also you have to refer these patients to support group if required. Support groups are those group where the patient with the same condition, there will be a lot of people having the same condition, and how they are dealing with their life and how they are coping with the problem. This is being taught, and this is being, there are some experience shared by the people, so we might need to refer these people or these patient to that support group. And if the patient is being hospitalized with a long standing or severe disease, then we have to monitor and manage the potential complication. We have to always try inhibiting, or we have to always try preventing the complication to happen, and enhance the coping measures, give a lot of coping measure to the patient how they can cope up with the condition. Preventing skin breakdown, since the diarrhea is the major problem over here, so there is a chance that patient's skin integrity will be lost. So we have to perform we have to give them a proper hygiene. We have to also teach the family member how they can perform this hygiene by maybe by using wet wipes, and we have to clean it and ask the patient not to let that area too moist, and if they have passed or defecated, then they need to inform. And also that we will be using a powder or some talcum powder to avoid that moisture to happen over there in that region, so we can prevent the skin breakdown, relieving pain by some painkillers or sedatives, reducing anxiety by explaining the condition properly to the patient, and clearing all their doubt properly. Do not give a false hope, but do not be rude at the same time with the patient. Then maintaining normal elimination pattern to how much extent is possible. You have to tell your patient and stress on maintaining the normal elimination. Then promoting rest, give your patient as much as rest possible, and maintaining optimal nutrition and hydration. So as a nurse, because the patient is being hospitalized, then you have to make sure that the person is getting good nutrition and hydration, and parental nutrition is being given in this condition. Then fluid replacement, and teach the patient along with the attendant. So we have to teach the patient with the attendant, because attendant or the caregiver is the one who has to see the patient for in their home setup. So we have to teach the people how they can be supportive to the patient and how they can support the patient in a long run. So attendant needs the physical care, so we have to teach the attendant also how they can give a physical care, emotional support, and extensive teaching about the management of ostomy. So give a demonstration how we can care about the stoma and ostomy bag, how it is being replaced and how it is being changed, and what all the changes we have to identify at the early stage before the infection is being spread all over. So teach all these things and signs which we have to look for in case of ostomy to prevent from infection. So this is what we do in our as nursing management. Nursing diagnosis are diarrhea related to inflammatory process, acute pain, deficient fluid volume deficit, imbalanced nutrition, activity intolerance, anxiety, ineffective coping, risk for impaired skin, risk for ineffective therapeutic regimen. So this is it about your management about IBD. So I hope this part is also clear to you all. If you have any doubt, do comment down my comment section. And yeah, this is it. I hope you guys are studying well and this is being helpful for you. So if you like my video, do like, share it with your friends in your group, and subscribe to my channel. Please guys, help me grow my channel, and thanks for watching. Thank you.